All right. Welcome to Fools in Love podcast. Doesn't matter the episode because we're not doing it that way anymore. We're just kind of talking whenever we want to talk.
Yeah.
And so I'm here with Kayla.
Hello, OC.
And
hello, people.
We're in Mexico, and it's actually our last night here in Mexico. How are you feeling about that?
Ready. I'm ready for our next move. Go back home. I feel like it's been time well spent. An amazing decision on our part to come out here for the length of time that we did, even though we're leaving a little bit earlier than expected. But I think we really made the most out of this trip every single day.
Yeah, I definitely feel ready to leave already. And yeah, so we're about 17 days here in Mexico, and we were planning to stay for 28 days. But we had to leave early because we want to avoid COVID testing at the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we got here in Mexico, we landed and we booked everything for a month. And then we got an email and a text message saying, after the date of the 25th of January, we're going to require COVID testing at the airports.
Mm-hmm.
And so to avoid that, we're leaving on the 25th, tomorrow, because we just don't want that.
Yeah.
We don't want to be a part of that. And so we just did everything, and it was fun. And I feel ready to leave, and I'm not sad that we're missing out on a couple more weeks. But How do you feel?
It's planted a seed. We know how much travel feeds our soul. We really enjoy exploring new towns and more countries in the future. It's been awesome. We want to come back to Puerto Vallarta. We talk about possibly like buying land out of the United States, for example, to have another place to come visit, have our families come stay with us, so they can travel some more as well in the future, even though, we don't know how everything will be like with the COVID. But yeah, I think it was a trip that we needed to take.
Yeah, definitely, like, your U.S. money goes a little bit further here.
A lot further.
And so it would definitely be a lot easier to buy some land here and a home here. Mm-hmm. And even just send money from the U.S. over here to our friend, and he can do it for us and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we always enjoyed traveling, and we knew that. We would always just go like just a few hours out of town, a couple hours, and the most for like just a few days. And this was like our longest trip.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really fun. And we didn't really have plans. We don't know really anyone here. But it was cool to just like go around and really just talk to people.
Yeah, figure things out on your own. You'll start to learn as you do. Ask questions. You meet people, and they're kind enough to give you some advice on, or just support on how to ride the buses, for example, the bus routes, what they look like, and all of that. And so then you gain more confidence in going out there and doing it yourself. You just give it a shot and you go. And I think that's why I like to travel this way, where we're on foot, buses, Uber, and driver, all of that. You get to see more of the actual city or town or pueblo
and
that
the
you're
real
visiting,
life.
Instead of just going up and down the coast, and helping or getting the tour guides to show you around. There's always a way, and it's all eye-opening. But yeah, there's something really empowering about like, oh, I can get there on my own by foot. I have the energy for it. I'm just gonna take in the nice scenery along the way, and that's fun for me.
Yeah, I think like I never liked too much structure in my day, and so like we were originally planning to come like and stay at a hotel
Yeah, all
where
inclusive.
like an all-inclusive hotel that has a rental car and breakfast and dinner, and it's right on the beach and stuff. And we ended up not doing that and just going with an Airbnb and no car.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up having so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
We walked everywhere, literally all day long, walking and taking Uber drivers or the bus. And it was just really cool to like actually experience life more like a local than a tourist.
Yeah.
And just using our own 2 feet to get everywhere we need to go, just like everyone else. And over here, everybody walks. Everybody eats on the street.
Mm-hmm.
And they just do whatever.
Yeah.
And we got to do a little bit of that, and it was really cool.
We got to the point where we were wanting to tell people we're not from anywhere. We're not visiting. We're not,
We live here.
We are from here.
Yeah.
We are part of this group of people because we were living like them, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like even there was a few people who even told us that if we didn't tell them we were from the U.S., they wouldn't have known.
Yeah, our Spanish is so good. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Well, your Spanish is pretty good. Mine's not that good.
Yeah.
But it's all right.
But you go for it.
And
that's how you're going to get better.
Do you want to talk about this thing on your arm here?
Oh, Kayla got her first tattoo.
So how was that experience? So I got a tattoo here and Kayla got a tattoo. I got my tattoo like a week ago.
Yeah.
But it's small. It's on my leg.
It's, like 2 to 3 inches.
So tell them about yours.
Well, mine is it's
your first tattoo. It's her first tattoo.
Yeah, here they don't really talk inches, centimeters, and I think this was like at
20?
least like 18 to 20 centimeters.
It's the length of her forearm from her wrist to her elbow.
It's a serpent and it wraps around my arm. Black work is what they call it, the style, the coloring and the shading and all.
How was the pain?
Oh gosh, yeah. So people tell you it's gonna hurt, hold on tight, get something small to test it out, and then get the bigger piece that you want. But I always knew that if I were to get any tattoo, I only ever envisioned like these bigger pieces in my mind. I never saw little tattoos on me. And so we just, we decided let's just go get it. Talk to the artist and see what he comes up with, if he can do exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And it wasn't hurting until he went back over it to do the shading. That's when it hurt a lot because it was already starting to I could feel the irritation of the wound.
He had already gone over it once.
Yeah, so when he goes back for the shading and all, it started to like kind of worsen that feeling of the irritation. And at the end I saw some blood, and I think that's what really like made it worse for me, because I'm like, wait a second, I didn't know there was gonna be this much blood involved, like dripping down it wasn't dripping, it was just like, seeping through. And I didn't know this, being my first tattoo, like I said. But I had a fabulous time. The guy who worked on me made us feel super welcomed and it was comforting because he just kept talking, and it was honestly like we were hanging out.
Yeah. He was really cool, actually. He had a really open mind, and he had like tattoos all over his face and his
head,
scalp.
yeah, his neck, all over. He was covered, and
But he was like really like a nice dude.
Yeah, super humble. I asked him, I'm like, wow, so you must do really well with the pain. Like it probably doesn't hurt you as much, if you have all of this all over your body. He's like, oh no, there's always pain, and it's always strong. And in fact, I just do less now because of it. He's like, but I never acted like there was no pain, because there is pain involved.
And, one thing about the average person here that you meet is they have a lot more to say when you ask them something. And they're more wise.
Yeah.
Like, they have more wisdom to them. Like, you'll learn something, like, pretty profound from, like, the average person around here.
And you know what I noticed?
If you sit down and talk with them.
Yes, baby. I'd like to add to that they also take their time speaking to you.
Yeah. Like, they think about what they're going to say.
And they clarify. Like, you know how sometimes When you want to say something, you're just blunt, you're short, you get right to the point. Here, it's like they take their time to express a thought. It's like they're not in a rush to just
no hurry
give you a response and walk away. It's like they actually care for you to understand what they're saying to you. Yeah,
I know. Like they want you to like walk away with something. It's not like, oh yeah, like I'm just gonna give you a short response because I'm late for work or whatever. It's not like that here. And even the guy who gave you your tattoo, he was saying like people around here, they work when they need money and then they just relax when they don't.
Exactly. It's like they can. Oh, definitely. It's engaging. Everyone's very engaged.
Yeah, everyone has time. Like they're not worried about time. They're not running through the streets and anything. They're driving hella fast, but that's just how you drive around here. And apparently it's not even the worst. There's other areas where it's worse, but it's pretty cool. Like that's one of the things that left the biggest impression on me is the people themselves. They're actually more individuals than like the average person you meet where we're from, at least. All I can speak from is like where I'm from, right? But like where I'm from, like you talk to someone and everyone's really just the same, slightly different version of the other person. Like they don't really have much personality. They're kind of just all this like hive mind group kind of thinking. And even the way they dress is exactly the same as other people. And it's just, to me, it's strange, but that's how it is. And I often feel out of place at home because I look different and I talk different and like everything is different from me to them, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that, but I just feel put out of place at home. And when I come over here, I see a lot of individuals with different things to say and their own perspective about life and more engaged in life itself. Like, it's not that common to see, like, someone around here who's just glued to their cell phone. You still see it, yeah, but it's not as common. Yeah. Like, it's the cell phone thing isn't as common over here as it is over there. And that might be just because we're surrounded with so much beauty. There's a mountain, literally, I could almost reach out my window and touch the mountain, you know, and then there's an ocean on the other side of it. And it's just so cool to see. And there's so much wildlife everywhere and dogs everywhere and cats everywhere.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
People in the back of trucks, you know.
It's way more laid back here. Everything is just easygoing. Just do what you got to do around here.
And you know what I noticed? Like, when you begin to talk to somebody and they're just going at it, it's like there's more and more and more and more coming out of this person. They're sharing and they're opening up more. And it's almost like, whoa, is there an end to this? It keeps, like I said, it's engaging and it's interesting. And then it actually, I question myself. I'm like, whoa, like I've never gone I so deep with someone like this. Maybe because it was like a 2.5 hour session, but yeah. I was like, wow, I can't remember the last time where I just talked like this for so long with a friend. Like, we don't even do that anymore. I only do that with you, babe. But to do that with a friend, it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, I just want to go home now. Like, I don't want to really deal with you know, or not deal, but I just don't want to. I don't feel the need to be hanging out with people like that for so long anymore, just sitting and talking. But it feels good. It's like necessary for human connection. And I think that we get really comfortable being in our own little isolated bubble, doing whatever we think is the most important thing in the world. And so this trip has gotten me out of that bubble.
Yeah, and that's when I, like, before we left Washington, I was like, I just set the mental intention for myself that when I come over here, I just want to learn from the culture, learn from the lifestyle here and how people are. So, like, every day we go out, in my head, I'm just like in the mood of absorbing life, learning from life, taking life as my teacher here, and being like, what is different? Like, what is so different from here to there? Like, why do I feel different here? What's different about the people? What's different about the driving? What's different about the businesses? What's different about the government?
Mm-hmm.
What's different about the police? Everything, you know? And like anything you can think of. And one thing that's really cool around here is the businesses. Everybody, you just have a home, and then there's like a room next to it where is your business. Like most people have that.
Yeah.
They just like open up shop right outside their home if they don't have a space like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they just start selling things on the street. Like there's always people walking around where you'll make a few bucks at least, you know, if you have anything to sell.
Yeah, or you just carry whatever you're selling on your back and walk through the city that way, and you kind of just show it to people. Yeah, and then we also talked about like people just appearing more healthy, and it's this healthiness that like you see in their eyes and in their energy levels, in their ability to walk all day long doing whatever job they're doing, just selling, you know. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's this like happiness to work, to be out there, even though they don't get paid nearly as much as people in the US do.
Not even close.
Not even close. They said their minimum wage used to be like
80 pesos.
No. It used to be, was it 80?
Yeah.
But they brought it up to 110 is what he said.
Yeah.
They just recently brought it up to 110 pesos, which is maybe $6.
Yeah, about $6.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
Because one US dollar is 20 pesos here.
Yeah.
And so, like an average, like a cheap average salary is like 90 US dollars every 2 weeks.
Yeah, for most people. Mm-hmm.
And people are living here off $90 every 2 weeks. And like you think about that and how much we spend every day over there. It's like just going out a couple times a week will spend all that money.
Well, yeah, I know groceries for us is right around, it's more than 90 some weeks.
Yeah.
A grocery
seriously.
bill every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's every 2 weeks. I know, it's crazy to think. Yeah.
But over here, you can stretch your money. You really can. Like, even if you want to eat out, the food is really cheap if you go to the right places.
Mm-hmm.
Anything is really cheap if you go to the right places. Like, if you hang around the touristy spots, then it's going to be a little more pricey for you. Yeah. But you go deeper into the city and the neighborhoods and stuff. Like, a lot of tourists are kind of scared to go through them, but there's really nothing to fear. Everybody is a human. If you are just nice and you stick to your own business and you're not sticking your nose in places you're not supposed to, you're going to be fine around here. And at least around here, you know, and a lot of the locals tell us, like, around here it's safe. You don't really got to worry about what you hear, you know, about Mexico. But, of course, every place has...
With the cartel, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every place has its own rules, you know, like that the locals know about, and they know where to go and where not to go and stuff. Mm-hmm. And but you know, we didn't experience any of that. We didn't see any of that, and we were everywhere. We were walking through places where supposedly it's really ghetto and really you're not supposed to walk through.
Yeah, and I mean, this will be for any country you ever visit, but I think it's like there's always the possibility of some sort of crime or injustice happening before your eyes. But it's like, exactly, it's like, are you going to put yourself in a place where that is more likely? Then yeah, that's your own doing and you deal with the consequences. But it's like anyone can get anyone can jump you, like outside your own house, or it doesn't matter where you are. That shouldn't keep you from traveling
or living life
in general, regardless of your age. Yeah.
Like, the biggest thing about it is just don't invite it. Like, oh, you have your cell phone out and you have a bag full of your wallet and passport and shit like that. Like, don't just leave it out and leave it unattended. That's just inviting that sort of... If someone's a thief, they're going to steal you, whether you're a local or a tourist. They don't care. They're thieves. Like, just be mindful about what you're carrying, about how it looks, and how it invites certain energies to you. Don't entice them. Be smart about it, but really there's nothing to worry about if you're realistic and smart when you travel. Like, a lot of people were scared for us or whatever, but I'm like, I feel protected because I don't put any of that negativity out in the world. So I shouldn't be expecting that.
No, you shouldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
That. You can always have some sort of, like, okay, for a while here, we're like, well, I think it was like a few days into it where all of a sudden there was this massive fear that overcame me at night before bed. And I was thinking, like, holy shit, I don't know anybody close by who can come and look out for, or, like, check up on me if something were to happen, or help me out if I needed, like, if there was an emergency. I started to think, like, anybody can just really break in through these doors right now and take me captive because they think I'm of some sort of, like, value. Got money just because I'm American. Like, I was thinking all these things. I don't have anything to protect myself, and I left the door unlocked downstairs. Like, I was thinking about all the horrible things that could possibly happen being without family nearby. And then I kind of let that moment just be. And I said, okay, be afraid, hun. It's okay. Be afraid all you want right now. And I did. I didn't push it away. I didn't, like, freeze. I just let that fear sit with me for a second. And then it passed. It did pass. We talked about it. We talked about, like, what we can do to make ourselves feel safer, such as, like, leaving a light on during the night when we're going to bed. And yeah, things like this. And so that's always helpful for our own sense of security.
Well, yeah, and that happened to you right after, because we have one friend here, and he was telling us, oh yeah, he's like, don't leave any doors unlocked. Make sure to lock all your windows and put the bars on and do stuff like that. And it kind of, I feel like, just kind of like incepted an idea into you that you should be scared.
That's never gonna end though. Like, all throughout life, people are gonna have comments like that, and they're not, like, being maleficent when they say these things. They're just, like, giving you warnings about, potentials. And it's true, it does happen. People do get robbed. Like,
yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, you attract what you think about, like, if you're always focused on how scared you are and your body starts to show it in your posture and stuff like that, you're going to invite that. People are going to see that and be like, oh, this is prey. They're going to smell like it. On a primal level, they're going to be like, oh, this is my prey. This is what they look like. And, like, and then they go prey on you. Because you're showing fear in your body language and your energy and the way you talk and the way you're just scared,
Well, test it out. It's like, if you're having these thoughts of, like, oh my gosh, anyone can come attack me right now. That makes you feel like you're incapable of defending yourself. Or doing something instinctual that can protect you, or you making yourself feel like it's okay, like I can trust myself to do whatever I need to do to make me feel safe. So it's like it's an immediate thing, right? The thought, and then the feeling, and then people sensing that from you. Boom, it happens. So, and it's not like you can't have any thought like this. Just be mindful if they're like chronic thoughts of like, oh my God, I can't do this because someone's gonna kill me.
Yeah, it really starts to affect you when it's a chronic thinking pattern, or like a very repetitive pattern that you just constantly think about.
Yeah.
Then you'll start to attract it, really. And like, but even like little changes, like you just wake up in the morning and say, you know what, when we go out today, I'm just gonna say hi to everyone I see, and I'm going to make a connection with everyone I talk to today. And then you just have the best day ever because everyone is so open to you. Yeah. They're just returning back what you're giving them. So if you give them fear, then they're going to feed that fear. If you give them love, they're going to feed that love. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, yesterday when we went out, we were kind of sluggish for some reason. We were a little tired, and
we've been walking every day for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, we weren't in the best mood jumping onto the bus, but then we were like, you know what? Let's welcome the best day ever. And we had a pretty awesome day yesterday.
We had a great day, all things considered, you know? Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely a long day for me. I was because I carry my gym bag everywhere I go, and it just gets heavy, and like my core has been feeling weak and stuff. And we went to go lift outside and then just continue walking. Yeah. And it's just like several miles later on this concrete, I'm a little tired and grumpy.
Mm-hmm. Our feet hurt.
Know? But thankfully there's food everywhere. Every corner we go on, we get a little snack.
Aguas frescas de guanábana, different waters fruit waters. What would you call them? Waters made out of
agua
fruit?
Fresca.
Agua frescas, yeah. Well, I'm saying it in English, but yeah.
Just like natural waters. Yeah. Natural fruit waters. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I love you, Puerto Vallarta. Thank you.
But definitely one of my favorite restaurants here is one called Las Tias. Yeah. And they give you hella food for really cheap. And I think we have some videos on it.
You guys are going to find, I would love to compile a list of places to go in Puerto Vallarta. But the truth is, you don't need any of those lists when you guys get here. Just be spontaneous and go to whatever restaurant is piquing your interest, because it's really hard to disappoint here in Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, yeah. And there's several restaurants we walk into and we're like, no, we're not feeling this one. We just walk out. There's no harm in taking a menu and looking at it and then say, never mind. You know, no one cares. No one's going to make you buy shit. Yeah. You know, so just walk in anywhere you go and check it out. And if you don't like it, there's plenty of vegan stuff around here, too.
Yes, there is vegan.
And they're, hella good.
Yeah, delicious. And if you want that list, I'm happy to send it over.
Yeah. Well, the best one that we went to, I think, is called The Green Place.
Organic Selecto también it's another one. And everything there is, it's not vegan, per se. It's organic. But they do have several vegan dishes.
Yeah. But they have meat, too, but it's organic. Mm-hmm. So a little more pricey, but it's delicious.
Oh, yeah. Totally doable. So.
And they got Buddha statues in there, which few places have Buddha statues around here, but there are some. Yeah. But there's no Buddhist temples, apparently. There's 3 churches, though.
Yeah, 3 or 4 in the entire Vallarta area.
Yeah. We saw 3 of them.
But only really visited one.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? We tried filming a lot. And, I have a lot of videos and pictures and stuff, but I was more concerned with experiencing.
Mm-hmm. As you should be.
You know, experiencing Puerto Vallarta rather than filming it. So maybe when, tomorrow when we're at the airport, I can work on that a little. Or when we get home, I can see what kind of footage I have. But I don't know. I was more concerned with just living life here. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot. I developed different habits here, which I'm happy about. That was one thing I did before I left to Mexico, is I wrote down what are my daily habits. And I was very disgusted
Yeah, you'll be surprised. Like,
by what my routine has become.
Get real about how you spend every hour. What do you do every single day? When you see it on paper, you can really tell, like, where you'll be 1 year
and
from
why
now.
you are where you are.
Yeah. And 1 year from now, if that continues, like, where you'll be. Exactly.
Yeah.
Does that align with where you want to be?
So one thing I want to make a point of is, like, in my life is I want to produce more things than I consume. Like, if I don't feel good consuming content so much anymore. I rather produce it, even if it's not the greatest shit. I rather produce it than consume it now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's part of why I like to do these podcasts and videos and just post random shit all day or write in my journal or do whatever, because I want to produce something in the world rather than just consume the world, you know, and consume other people's ideas. I'd rather do that. I'd rather put out my own ideas.
Yeah.
Even if they're not the most high or the most true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I don't give a shit. It's my own shit.
Yeah, it's you, and I think that's what helps expansion is, like, when you're just doing what feels right. You're like your most authentic expression, not the most highest expression all the time. Like, that doesn't even exist. We're human.
Don't worry about becoming Buddha before you say anything to anyone. Yeah. You know, just say what you gotta say. The most important thing is just to be honest with yourself and make sure that you're coming from an honest place when you share things that you're sharing. But I encourage everyone to share more and speak more and write more and really just be themselves more. I don't like this seeing everyone as the same. But it's hard because everyone is the same. Everyone thinks the same. Mm-hmm. They fall into this groupthink very much. And it's a little depressing, but whatever. The best thing we can do is do things ourselves and hope to inspire others that way. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, beautifully said.
Yeah. Well, I think that can wrap it up for this one.
Okay.
All right, this is Fools in Love episode whatever.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys.